Good morning, boys and girls. Good morning, Miss Enoch. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you? Good morning,
I'm doing
Jay.
well.
My new friend Riley. Good
Hi,
morning,
Riley. Hi,
Zoe.
Jade,
Good morning,
Zoe,
Denham. Good morning,
Denham,
Brandon. And good morning, Chance. All
Chance.
six of
Good
our boys
morning,
and girls. Good morning.
guys.
Good morning, Deshaun. You look so cheerful.
Oh, thank you.
And boys and girls, I have something to tell you. Miss Johnson's son graduated, and that's a big word. But he got out of school. And that's what we
Yay.
need you to do. That's our main focus, to
Yes.
help you develop your skills so you can grow up. You're already a you're already a toddler. Now you're a preschooler. Then we need you to go to primary grade, which will be
Yes.
elementary school. And then we hope you take something we learned with you to
Yes.
middle school, then high school, then then secondary school, college, or the military or a job. But that's a long way off, boys and girls. But I just wanted to share that with you that Miss Johnson's son started right where you were,
Yes.
right as a preschool, a toddler, an infant, a toddler, then a preschooler, right
Mhm.
where you are, and then he went on and graduated. So kudos to him, boys and girls.
Thank
Give a
you
clap.
so much.
Yes, Miss Johnson did a great job.
Thank you. And so
All
you
right.
too will get out of school one day, but make sure that you keep learning. Yesterday we had a conversation in class in which I told them it was one of our goals for them to like to learn and to always learn every day, even at home, even as they go to other schools.
Education never stops. When you're
Never.
at work, when you're an adult, education never stops. You always can learn something. If it's nothing but walking out the door, seeing a flower that turned green that you thought was purple, education is a lifelong lesson.
Yes.
And you never, ever, ever stop
You
learning. You
never
start
stop
learning,
learning.
something is wrong. Something has went wrong for you.
Yes, so
All right,
true.
today we're talking about plants again. We're talking about plants all week long. So, boys and girls, you ought to know a lot about plants. You ought to know when they're living, when they're dead, when they're fake, when they're for real. And those
Yes.
are words that you can listen for. For real. Is it for real? Are you serious? Is it alive? Is it dead?
Is it non living? Is it
Is it
artificial?
is it artificial? Artificial with plastic. It could be
Yes.
plastic, it could be cloth, it could be vinyl, it could be it's a whole lot of things. We don't want to go too far off because those are really, really big words that you'll learn as you grow up and go into
Yes.
primary grade. But we're talking about plants. And the other day, when we were zooming, I showed you a plant that Miss had at her house. Miss Johnson showed you some leaves, some dirt she collected. Today, I have another plant. Once again, I want to show you, boys and girls, this is all the alive life that was
Oh,
planted by
look at
her.
it. It's
All
beautiful.
the trees. Those are considered live. You see all of the live? I have all these big old trees collected, boys and girls. See? And they're alive because they're green and because the sun is on them and they're getting oxygen. And it rains
And
and
they
they
get
get water
water.
and they're in the ground. So they get their nourishment from the dirt. I was sitting in the sun the other day, boys and girls, but I got so hot. So I kind of sat over on the porch today, on the back porch today, because it was kind of hot there. And I wanted you to see how the sun is, how pretty and bright it is out there. It's so pretty and bright. You need to be outside today playing, boys and girls, so you
Yes.
can also get some.
Just like the sunlight helps plants and flowers, sunlight helps us. We need
Helps us.
vitamin D, which we get only from sunlight. And it helps us to feel vibrant and alive and to be healthier. So play outside in the sun. Make sure you have your sunblock. Make sure you don't spend too much time out there, but it's great to play in the sun.
And never, ever, ever go outside without an adult.
No,
Never leave. Don't go out the door without an adult. Never, ever leave your house
never.
without an adult. You always have an adult with you. Okay. All right. Today we're talking about the plants. So I showed you a plant that I had the other day that I had been caring for. Now, I have green. Oh, Mrs. The mister of the house, he has green thumbs. He likes to water them. He likes to care for them. Now, Miss Enoch will see about him. So you can have your parents see about him. I'll come out here and I will, you see the grass? I will cut the grass. I will rake the leaves. I will. So Miss Enoch does good with me.
this is a beautiful plant. It's very green and healthy.
Yes, and what color bow does it have? It has a bow on the top of it. What color bow does it have?
It has a pink bow on top of
A
it.
pink bow on top of it. Yes, it does. Now, it is alive. You know why it's alive? This plant is not an outside plant. Now, that's what we forgot to tell you. You have some plants that have to stay in the house,
Mm-hmm.
and this is one of those old plants that have to stay in the house. So I leave it in the house, but I brought it outside so they wouldn't. But you see how big the leaves are there in different sizes. So if I were to tear all these leaves off, oh no, that would kill the plant. And let me show you what it looks like. If I tear the leaves off, this is what it would look like. Ugh,
Oh, wow.
brown and dead. If you tear them off, I can't tear them off. If I tear those off,
They'll no
brown
longer
and
be
dead.
alive.
They will no longer be alive. See what happens when they're dead? Now
And we
look at
don't
the
want
difference.
that.
Look at the difference, boys and girls. This one is brown and it's thin, long,
And shriveled up and unhealthy looking because it's dead. And the other plant is healthy and vibrant and there's a beautiful color.
it's big and green. And this plant has green and a little white on it. Now that's usual. The white is in there. Now, have you noticed, boys and girls? It has a stick on the inside of it. But the stick it didn't grow in there. They put the stick in there so the plant, you see it grows up the vine. It grows up the stick. It'll attach to the stick and it'll keep going. And boys and girls, this plant, if you can see on the ground, there's a lot of it. There's a lot of
Oh,
it.
yes.
This one flower that grows a lot. It'll grow long. It'll be taller than you. It's already taller than some of our boys and girls. If you can see it. So we have to put a stick in the middle. You put a stick in the middle of it. And once you put the stick in the middle, it stands up and look at the plant. It grows up the stick. Then we'll tie it to the branch and it'll keep going and keep going and keep going. I have to figure out the name of the plant. I think it's Miss Enoch don't want to tell you the wrong information, so I have to look it up. But I will look it up. He knows the name of it, but I'll find out what the name is. But I
Well,
don't.
thank you for sharing your beautiful plant with us. It was long. It had so
It
many
is.
leaves.
Boys and girls. What is this?
Oh, is that the watering can?
That is the water. I got a cool water jug with fish on it. You see the fish on it?
Oh, that's
So
beautiful.
I'm gonna give the plant. Let's see if you see. I'm gonna give the plant. See, let's see. I'm gonna pour water.
Okay. She's watering the plant because plants need
Watering the
water.
plant so it'll be alive. So it'll stay alive. It'll stay alive. All right. Let's see. Miss Johnson, you have something about plants?
Yes, so let's see. Um, let's talk about the needs of a plant. Plants have needs just like we do. We need sunlight and water and food. Well, plants also have needs. Let me know if you can see it and hear it.
Needs of plants. Buzz with B. Plants are incredibly important. They give us food, provide us the air we breathe, create habitats and homes for many animals and insects. Because they are so important, it's necessary for us to know what they need to survive. So, what do they need? Almost all plants need 5 things to survive. Water. Just like us, plants need water to live. It is absorbed through their roots and travels through the stem and into the leaves. It also helps move nutrients around the plant. But be careful, too much water can drown your little buddy. Light. Plants need light for energy. This usually comes from the sun, but can be from an artificial light such as light bulbs. Some plants need different amounts of sunlight, so that's why you see different plants in different countries, depending on how much sunlight they get. Air. Plants also need air to breathe. They turn the carbon dioxide that we breathe out and turn it into oxygen that we breathe in. That's pretty incredible. Soil. Although you cannot usually see them, plants have roots under the soil. The soil provides roots with water and nutrients, which is then transported to the rest of the plant. Space. If the plants are too close together, they will need to compete for these resources. Plants need space for the roots to spread out and grow, and so the plant has good access to light. Let's recap the 5 things that plants need to live. Water, light, air, soil, and space. Well done!
So look at this. This is soil. The plants are growing at a fast pace. They don't grow quite this fast. They sped it up. But they're coming out of the soil.
You feel like
That is wonderful. I love that
I
example.
like that. So now we know the 5 things, boys and girls: sun, air, soil, space, and water. We said sun and water and soil. We forgot space.
That's not usually something that I think about, but it did come to mind recently. Think about it. If all of the trees are growing like this, when you see a tree, it's usually kind of by itself. It's next to some other trees, but you don't see 2 trees like this or interlocked because they wouldn't be able to grow, certainly not big and tall. Same thing with flowers. You always see a lot of flowers, but you don't see flowers twisted up together in 2 and 3s.
Right.
So that makes sense. And I like that big tall tree that you just showed us, how it was by itself. It doesn't have another tree growing right on it.
Oh, it's big and tall. All the way from the ground.
So that's wonderful.
Sorry, you see our garbage can was good, but that's part of life. When we put our trash at to recycle.
So we know that plants need sunlight and water. They need air. All of that helps them to get nutrients. They have roots that stick in the ground, so a lot of times you don't see them. The roots hold the flower or the plant in the ground and keep it from blowing away, and it also helps to get all of the water and the nutrients, which are plant food, to the plant. We also know that we start off with a seed. Everything that's a plant, flower, tree started off as a seed. Now, these seeds are different sizes and shapes. It may be a big acorn. It may be a small kernel of a seed. It may be a small flower seed. I have some seeds here for a flower.
Oh, you have some seeds, Miss Johnson. Okay.
And I have some soil. So what you would do is you would plant your seeds in the soil. And you would have to give them plenty of water and sunlight. We may get an opportunity in the classroom before school ends to do some planting. And you can always plant things at home as well, boys and girls. So I have a little craft. You can make your own flower
Oh,
and cut it out. And I just took a brown crayon and made almost like a strange rectangle, and I made my own pot, and I've glued them to this paper. Then I know that I need sunlight, I need air,
air,
and I need water.
water.
So you just take your pair of scissors, you know I love my scissors, and a little bit of, where's my glue? Here it is, my glue. And you're just going to glue these things that the plant needs on the paper, like so. You can do this at home. Make sure when you're using scissors that you're doing it with a sibling or a parent. Make sure that you guys are using the scissors correctly. So we have air, we have water, and we have sunlight. Those are the simple things that every plant will need to survive. See? Like so. So I have
Oh, look what you created.
sunlight, air, and water for my plant. And you can do this at home as well. We'll show you how on the class tag. Would you guys like to hear a story about plants? I'm in the mood for a story. Let's see. Let me know if you can hear it and see it.
Plants Can't Sit Still by Rebecca E. Hirsch. Illustrations by Mia Posada. For my family with love, R.E.H. And to my mother, illustrator Sharon Lerner, M.P. Plants don't have feet or fins or wings, yet they can move in many ways. Look closely and you'll discover that plants can't sit still. Plants can wiggle. As seedlings start to grow, they squirm out of spring soil, unfold their leaves, and reach for the warmth and the light. Plants can creep. They slither underground or crawl through tall grass, searching for the things that all plants need: water, sunshine, and room to grow. And as they search, plants can climb a fence or walk up a wall. Plants can hide from a hungry grasshopper or surprise a fly. Snap! Some plants sleep at night, leaves nodding, flowers folding. Others wake with the stars and lift their faces to the moon. Plants can tumble on a breeze. Whoosh, as they bounce along, seeds sprinkle out. Plants even explode. They fling their seeds into the world to make new plants. A seed is a plant built for travel. Seeds can whirl like helicopters, or float on parachutes, or glide on papery wings, but they can't sit still. Seeds hitchhike on your sock, or on a fox's bushy tail. They take a ride inside a bear. Seeds set sail, splush, down the river past swaying trees into the wide ocean, drifting, waiting for what all plants need: water, sunshine, and room to grow. When the seed finds a spot, the seedling squirms out. It unfolds its leaves. It reaches for the warmth and the light, and it keeps on moving because plants can't sit still.
I like that video because it talked to us about the various ways that plants move. Just because plants are alive, I told you before, they don't talk. They don't
Right.
do actual walking on legs like we
No,
do,
but they move.
but they move. The seeds
Look,
move, the
mine's
leaves
moving.
move.
Can you see it?
Yes, it has moved over time because it has grown out.
See it moving?
Yes, look at that. The leaves are moving.
Ooh. Yes. The wind makes it move. The sun makes it. The trees are moving. The sun makes it.
Yes, the wind
But
blows
if it gets
the
too hot, it'll move
plants.
one way. Like we do, we walk, get out the sun. They can't go anywhere. They might move to get out of the sun.
Yes, once they've had enough sunlight, I'm sure that they can get too much sun, just like we learned that you can water a plant too much. So you have to find out what type of plant you have and how much water it needs and how much sunlight it needs. It also talked about artificial sunlight. So fake sunlight, like from a light bulb. This is light, but it's not sunlight. Some plants do grow under light bulb light.
Like this one grows under light.
Oh, that's
Can't be
wonderful.
outside much more than that. Because if I leave it outside, it won't look like yeah, it won't look like it's not used to being outside. It's probably saying, hurry up and take me in. So I'll hurry up and take me in. But boys and girls, did you enjoy today?
I
Did you
enjoyed
enjoy
today.
today talking about plants? I did. I enjoyed being outside. I prefer to be outside and inside.
Yes.
We're learning a lot. I like talking about outside. I like talking about the sun. Me and Miss Johnson love flowers.
Yes, I
We
love
enjoy teaching
flowers.
you boys and girls. It's almost coming to an end. I think we have what, 2 more weeks? 2 or 3 more weeks.
We have 2 more weeks, but we only actually have 3 more times inside the classroom, guys.
So we're gonna learn as much as we can. We're gonna try to cram as much as we can. Not gonna take it too fast, but we're gonna learn. We'll be still talking about balls, but we'll be talking about other stuff too. Springtime and summer safety.
Yes.
We'll talk about springtime, summer safety. Maybe next week we'll talk about spring. There's a lot to talk about with spring. Birds, bees, all the little animals that love being outside. Yes, we'll talk about springtime.
That you only see in the spring. There are some animals you see in the winter, some in the spring, and some all year round.
And some all
Also,
year round.
we'll talk
Yes.
about water safety again, like we did
Water
yesterday,
safety.
just for a little
Yes,
bit.
a little bit. The last week of school, we talk about summer and water safety.
Yes.
Very last week of school, we talk about summer and water safety. Now, balls will be incorporated in that because you take balls to the beach.
Yes, you do.
Right. So next week, boys and girls, we'll be talking about the season. What season it is? It's springtime. And what happens in spring? What happens is mosquitoes come out. Go to the park. You have picnics. Go to summer camp. Some of you. Go visit your grandmothers. You go on trips.
Yes.
And so we'll talk about all of that. We'll incorporate balls because balls come in. They're in the winter, but in the spring, we're all outside with balls, everybody. So we'll talk a lot about all that. Boys and girls, did you enjoy today?
Today was so
We did.
fun.
It was so fun. All right, boys and girls, put your hands up. Goodbye.
So long.
Look at the trees. Goodbye.
So
Goodbye, boys and
long.
girls.
We'll see you on Wednesday because Memorial Day is Monday. We have a holiday coming
Monday
up.
is Memorial. That's a holiday. Eat all the barbecue you eat, boys and girls. Eat your barbecue, but do not spill it. Have fun. Go to the beach. Go to the park. Do whatever your heart desires that your family wants to do on Memorial Day. And Memorial Day represents something special, so we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that Wednesday. Memorial Day means something. And maybe we could make a flag on Wednesday.
Oh, I love
Maybe
making the
make a
American
flag to
flag.
represent Memorial Day for you. So you can understand about that. There's so much to talk about. We have so much to teach you. So, boys and girls, as always, love you. You have a
Love
wonderful
you
day.
guys.
Go
Bye.
outside. Look at the trees. Look at all the beautiful trees. And see if anybody has a flower like that at home. Because I know some of you have grandparents who love flowers. All right, boys and girls. We'll talk to you Wednesday. Have a good weekend.
Have a
Bye-bye.
great weekend, guys.